Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show, The Gallant Few, on Thursday, the 16th of January 2025. I'm joined by my good friend Mick. How are you getting on?
I'm all right, Jack. Yourself? Buzzing after
Good.
that result last night.
Aye, it was my birthday as well yesterday, so that was a good one. That was a good score.
All
If you
right.
were asking me what would I like my birthday, I'd probably say the ideal one would be to beat Celtic. But a close second would be to beat Aberdeen in any circumstance, so I'm happy with that.
Aye. Can't go wrong beating Aberdeen.
No, funnily enough, 2 years ago my birthday we beat Aberdeen as well. So keep playing them on the 15th
Oh,
of
well.
January and we'll be all right.
Make sure
So
Real Madrid's down for the next one.
no. I have had my birthday's also seen as lose and draw with Berwick Rangers, so we'll just stick with Aberdeen. we're history, so we'll just stick with Aberdeen. We seem to do well against them.
Fair enough, mate. My birthday's in the summer, so I get pre-season.
Oh, so you if a potential one you'll get is Tom Miller commentating in some rotten away friendly with new signings getting written off after 3 minutes.
Aye, that's it. Closed doors.
Aye, sounds good. Anyway, Mick, obviously in the last few weeks it's been the bipolar thing, which is Rangers having more away games than home. That's what the problem probably is. I don't think in many of the games we were battered or outdone. We just seem to run out of ideas in the away games. But I'm going to be fair to Phil Clement before we start. The amount of times he's been a dead man walking and written off, I don't remember many Rangers managers showing the character to keep going. He could have, well, he might know what to walk, but he could go, you know what, I'm throwing my hat in, I'm just going to see this out. But fair play to him, mate. He does keep. This is the first time where I'm not going to say turned it around, but he showed a bit of character. He has got that about him.
No, it definitely has. Because, like you say, a lesser man would have walked like a Paul Le Guen. Pressure gets too much, they end up walking, but he's digging his heels in. He's getting the big results at the right time when he maybe looking like he's heading for the door. You know, the win against Celtic, the run in Europe, and then obviously last night as well.
Well,
And I've often said he's week to week, Clement, on this pod, and I still stick by that. He's week to week.
I think Rangers are week to week in general. I think since Gerrard, Gio was week to week. I mean, see, before we got to the final, I remember all those points league and Celtic are doing. I think that's just the way it now. See the way the crazy world we live in now, where you don't talk to your pals about football and work or the pub or on the way to the game. Now it's everywhere. Know what I mean? As I said to David H last week, you could be angry and you go, I might go and follow and say something 20 years ago. See what time your internet got you in, you were angry about the internet and you forgot what you were angry about Rangers with. So you just left it to later on. And now it's it's 24/7 and it's all around us, isn't it? It's so I think sometimes we as fans it's week to week, but maybe when you do take a step back and go, look, there's a bigger picture to this and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying, I actually agree with some people who wanted Clement out or still want Clement out. I totally get their point on board, but I think with Clement, I think with Rangers offers a bigger picture to what's going on.
I'm listening, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but with Clement, I think you've got to take it. I'm guilty of it. I'm not saying other people are, but I'm very much, you see the result, get him out. That's just heart in your sleeve stuff. But then when you take a step back, I'm not saying he's done brilliant, but home form you can't argue with, and results in Europe you can't argue with. It's just that away form.
Aye,
That away form needs to change.
It's weird because see for home form wasn't so the only game at home in the league this year we have no win. I'll even include the cup games. We were very comfortable in the cup games we had at home as well. The only one we didn't win was Dundee United, but we were actually by far a better team. And I remember that was the day where the mad weather, Dundee United arrived late, and we didn't know if the game was going on. So it was circumstantially, it was a very strange day as well. It was one of the days where, like, I'm not using excuse, it was the same for both teams, but the weather was that bad. That kind of makes it a bit more of a leveler. So, see, sometimes in the mad world of Rangers, see when things don't go to plan before the game, you don't tend to go to plan during the game.
That's just been the way of things this season. We huff and puff and we don't get over the line. And okay, weather might play a part in it. Maybe some of the foreign boys don't like the wind and the rain. But definitely at home, it's chalk and cheese, home and away form.
Aye. Because even that game we were talking about, and I'll come on to him, Dundee United have actually a really good goalkeeper. He played a big part that day. And you're saying the foreign boys don't really like the wind and rain. Let's not kid on, Mick. We don't particularly like it ourselves. Maybe we're just a bit more used to it. But see this season, it reminds me a wee bit of Gerrard's first season. You can see the European stuff going fine. The home form's good this year, but the league form overall in Gerrard's first season was a bit similar to this, where he'd actually lost some points at home. See, by this point, he'd lost to Aberdeen, dropped points to Kilmarnock, and Kilmarnock twice, and St Johnstone. So if you even out, it actually is quite similar. The away form's a concern, but, and I've said this to a few people, see apart from the game Celtic beat us 3-0 very comfortably, we've not been doing away from home. It's been more on us for missing chances or goalkeeping mistakes. So maybe there's things you can see what's to work on. If Clement gets that right, I'm not going to say we're going to do this and that right away, but we're on the right path. So anyway, before we get into the game, I've seen the day, I think we've all seen it, it's known that I don't think it's a big secret, but now it looks like Dow and Matondo have been told to find new clubs. See, to me, Mick, I think we kind of knew that anyway, but it now sounds like Rangers will be quite happy just to get them at the door. I don't even think they'd be looking for a massive transfer fee now. I'm not going to say I would rather they went out because I think that wage should go elsewhere. I don't really care what we get in for them because I'm not going to moan about it later on. They're two players who are taking a wage, and see, combined, they've maybe had 5 good moments in the whole time we both been at Rangers.
I agree with you. Mintondo, he's just been pumped to injuries. I mean, when he shows a bit of pace, so it looks like he's getting in a bit of form. He's another Yilmaz. They seem to be building up speed and then get a knock, injury prone. So I take what you can get from him, get him off the wages he's on as well. That would go somewhere else that could go towards a new player. And Dow, I've just not seen it at all. I remember one of the Norwich fans emailing, and he was saying he's a great player if you keep him fit. And again, no fit. So he wouldn't be a loss, Dow. But Mintondo, obviously, you'll have the goal against Celtic, you'll remember him for.
Aye. Matondo isn't one of these players that does it against certain teams and no others. It's just how Matondo is that day. He's that inconsistent. That great game he had against Ross County, where he got 2 goals and 2 assists. So his numbers look good at the start of the season. So it was like 4 league games played, 2 goals and 2 assists. That looks good for a winger. But it was on the one game. He could have done that against Celtic. He could have done that against Aberdeen. It's just what's happened when Matondo turns up that day. We do well to get Matondo to turn up in person, to get him to turn up as well. We take contribute games quite hard. I remember when he signed, there was kind of one eye on that was Ryan Kent's long-term replacement. Now, I reckon if you were to play Matondo or 10 games and Kent or 10 games, you'd probably say Matondo, numbers-wise, would probably get you more goals and more assists, but Kent would actually impact the game more and would involve himself more and be better as a team player. Whereas Matondo, what you would get, I just don't think it's in. See for me, James, Matondo, there's been a couple of moments, but I said for the outlay, the transfer fee, the signing on fee and the wage, I think it'd be better if we could find somebody else to get that wage to. So I agree with that. On Dill, his home debut, he scored an absolute screamer against Livingston. Don't know if you remember, we beat Livy 4-0. He scored an absolute belter in that game. Kind of fell out of the team a wee bit. Didn't seem part of Clement's plans at all. Get thrown on at Parkhead in a game we were chasing. And Tavernier scored to make it 2-1 to Celtic with 5 minutes to go. The ball fell to Dill at the back post and he was greedy. And if he'd have played the ball across, Tavernier was waiting for a tap in and we could have drew that game 2 each. And I remember thinking, I get why the guys went for the glory, but see if he had any quality. But we see the Tavs run at the back post. Not, I mean, he might not have fun Tav, but he'd have went for that Mary. He went for a shot. He was never beating Joe Hart at the near post. And I thought, Vernon, I don't know what it was, but it was if that was, although that was a year ago, I don't think Kieran Dill's done anything since then in a year to justify us keeping him. So if he was to find somebody else, I'd be quite happy. Mick.
He'll be on silly money as well. Like, he'll be 20 plus a week.
It'll be on merit probably good because he was a free transfer as well, which means he could have commanded more. But I just remember, see that one I'm talking about at Parkhead. It was one, Tav made it 2-1, free kick. We were down to 10 men and we didn't have many opportunities, but the ball fell to Dill. And instead of trying to find somebody else, went for as if he was like Ronaldinho, as if he was going to find the top corner for a mad angle. It wasn't happening. And I don't think, I'm not saying 100 recover for that, but for that moment, you're like, oh no. I'll be fair to Dill on one thing. He seems to get thrown on when we're chasing a goal. So seeing we're already angry and the game goes against us, he seems to be part of that. But wouldn't be disappointed to see him going. I think it sounds like to me even Rangers would probably happily pay him off or pay a bit of their wage if it fund somebody on loan for them now. Bad on Rangers, but that's where we are. We just need to go on with it
now. I think the two of them won't be missed when they go, but it's more the money side of things. The 50 grand a week we'll be saving getting rid of them two.
Well, I mean, even if you just looked at your own league, for Boy McGrath is a better attacking midfielder for me, playing for Aberdeen, and he'd been a fraction of what Dill's on. And I'm not suggesting, but see, like Nicky Cadden at Hibs, he looks like a better winger than Matondo. He looks more consistent in the league. I'm not saying sign him, maybe we should be looking for better, but I'm saying you could find in your own league. Yeah. And we've neglected the league, so we probably wouldn't do that. You could quite easily find replacements for Dowell and Matondo, so I don't know, be missed. Anyway, Mick, so last night we're going into the game. Done well off of the game at the weekend, so we're kind of getting into it looking all right. Aberdeen have fell off a cliff, and I'm going to be honest, I'm just laughing at Southampton have scored against Man U. If it was the other team in the Premiership, particularly at Old Trafford. But I was into the game, and a few months ago, I remember Aberdeen won the league in Radio Scotland in September, but I was feeling quite confident in this game, Mick.
It was a home game, so if it was Pittodrie, cold and wet, nah. We're thinking the worst, but at home, with the crowd behind them, it's just chalk and cheese compared to the game we had up in Pittodrie. At the beginning, it was October. To that, we were completely dominant. I think they had one shot when the boy tried to chip Kelly. And then after that, we looked. He picked his head up and he seen what he was doing, and even Kelly was like, sorry, because he mucked up because he was too far off his line. But we kept them to that all night.
So the game we played in October, I remember we were all raging at the time. No, I was at that game, right? And it's one of the ones where you came out and you're annoyed that you have no win, no beat, because we actually, once we get over the kind of first half hour, we get done out a goal, in my opinion, the one that my cousin scored up there. So I actually thought we should win that night. But anyway, that doesn't matter now. But I felt quite confident, and we were on them right away. And Iggerman is doing quite well for me with a wee £10 and £20 bets for the first goal. He gets in between the posts, he's strong, and he read the chance. Cherny done well in that initially, but Iggerman went to the right area between the sticks and it fell from him, and we're 1-0 up. And brilliant start. Iggerman, I'll tell you what, for a young guy, he's carrying a can as a first choice Rangers striker, Mick, but he's doing it brilliantly at the moment.
I definitely agree with you, and I think Danilo has a big part to play with that as well. Obviously, he limped off. Well, his shoulder, wasn't it? It was his shoulder this time, so we'll see what the damage is with that. But him and Danilo are really sitting ahead of the light. And let's not forget, Dessler's coming off the bench at the end, just to remind everyone. He's definitely out of the picture.
We'll come to Big Cyril as well. Speak about. We'll definitely come to him. See, Danilo, I'm going to be. I was quite disappointed with the chance he missed, but his movement's great and his first touch is great. And I always find this a compliment. I was talking to somebody the other day. He's a Celtic fan. He went like, "Oh, I don't like that Danilo being fit. He knows the way to go." That's a compliment. That means other teams' fans are thinking about him. So I was like, "Well, that shows you he knows what he's all about." So the game kind of goes on. Rangers were a better team. I would say we had some good moments, some good play. Jeff did a right good run, pulled a good save at the goalkeeper, and you thought, right, it's a matter of time here. But I'm going to be fair to Aberdeen player and Kelly. Dear Mandy does switch off a wee bit and loses the ball. That was a great attempt for the Aberdeen player. And see Kelly, as much as he was off his line, he recovered fantastic. That would have actually been some goal. See, as much as Kelly would have been off his line, it was still some effort for the boy to hit it like that. That would have, I'm not saying it's not what I think if Fraser would have scored that goal against us, Ibrox might have given it a wee applaud. But see, that goal anywhere in the world, it's one of the ones you see the home fans would have appreciated the effort. It was very clever with the guy. It would have been some goal, but Kelly done fantastic. See, to concentrate and just backpedal and get a right strong hand and take a sting at the ball. It reminded me of save England. I think Joe Hart, was it Pickford against Colombia? I think it was Pickford, sorry. He was off his line and Falcao hit a mental shot and it was the same kind of thing, but he got there. Goalkeeper does well for me there because he could easily have just went on his arse desperately. But apart from that, Rangers were comfortable in the first half, Mick, and were probably disappointed to be 2 or 3-0 up.
Igaman, he missed one as well before his goal. He just put it just diagonally wide. His first shot and goal. Danilo missed a good one, and then obviously Egerman got his goal.
Danilo's one was the one I was most disappointed with. Although Danilo played well, I was disappointed with that one he missed. I thought he should have scored that one. So we're getting at half time, and obviously Danilo was struggling. So Barami came on. That was Barami's best performance for me in a few games. It looked like he was playing in a system. It suits some. I see this well when we played Celtic, Mick. See, because Celtic were a wee bit more open and Aberdeen, to be fair, were a wee bit open as well. That suits Barami. It's whenever he's behind the ball. I don't think he likes that game at all. And he's going to need to adapt it to get it in Scotland, but that's where you see he can struggle.
Well, that's it. He's going to have to adapt, isn't he? And speaking of, I mean, I did think he made it. He came on, didn't he? He was a sub. But he came on as and he made a difference. Because Aberdeen were chasing the game.
I said about Barami, he does something underappreciated. He stopped Shinnie for manipulating a lot of the game when he came on, and I thought Barami's done that against Carl McGregor a couple of times as well. So although he's going to have to adapt his game and all that, he's actually quite a good player off the ball as well. He will stop there, holding midfielders for kind of manipulating how the game will go and stuff like that. But that didn't stop. I thought that could have been a red card. I thought that boy was really lucky to be on, considering Sterling get the red card for the exact same thing last year. The tackle on Hadji, where he ends up, it was Hadji went it right on his feet. Kevin Clancy didn't even book him.
Went down his shin.
Did he even book him for that one, Mick? I can't remember.
He got booked and it went to VAR, and VAR just went with the yellow card. I think it was Hadji. He was lucky. It looked bad.
It was near the halfway line, and I'm right on the halfway line in the Govan, so I had a good view of it. So I thought that. After that, I thought he was very lucky. I was reading about then Hadji hits the bar, then Barami has one decent effort, then a very unlucky effort that just goes wide, and you're like, is this going to be one of the ones? Because Aberdeen were pushing up, and Aberdeen brought this guy on. See that Duke? I think he's a good player. I'm surprised he's still at Aberdeen. I'm surprised he's no went. I don't know if he's a Rangers Celtic level, but maybe English Championship or something. I thought he'd have went to. He's a good player. He came on. I hate when he comes on. I always think he's good against us, and he's good at turning the ball, and that struggles with defence. Coming onto the defence, the big AC Milan boy, Insia, sorry how you pronounce it. He's coming into the game. The guy went off injured proper. I'm a bit gutted because he's actually been playing it.
He has. He's really turned in a good performance, and away from home as well. He's obviously making himself time, whereas before he never had the time, and maybe he is showing what he was in rated highly in Dutch football. But he is coming good. But again, that looks like a knee he went off with. The boy shot the ball, and I think he tried to run it off, and I don't know, that might be a few months out.
No, but that wouldn't be good. You've just come onto form as well for us. See, sometimes when you hear that injury, you hear it sound like that. I remember we played Everton a friendly years ago, and I think Wayne Rooney went half injured with something like that way, blocking the ball. When your foot's planted like that and it's facing a certain way, I hope he's all right. And Davy T told us how you pronounce his name a few weeks ago, and he has 100% bang on the money, because when he gets subbed off, I thought it was Davy T doing the sub when he pronounced Robin or whatever in his Dutch accent. Aye, so spot on, Davy T. We learned that one for you. The guy announcing proper's name said that. On comes Balogun, and this is how it's going to help you, Mick. When you're bringing on good players, it's not going to impact the game as much. If anything, it actually gives you a wee bit more energy. And I'm a fan of Balogun, always have been. I don't think it should be as much longer for his own good, but as part of a squad and coming on today as a turn, he's done that again last night.
Well, Balogun's like the 90-year-old Leon Balogun. He keeps going and going, and he's a very, very good squad player. Bags of experience, and to be honest, he could have potentially had two goals last night. He actually looked like the next one it was going to score with the chances he had.
He's been due a goal because especially against Aberdeen last season and this season at Pittodrie, he's missed a sitter in the 6-yard box. So I hopefully made him more determined. He gets thrown at the end of a lot because he's big, but he's finishing for corners isn't always the best. But he got that one right last night, and again, so we're up in the tempo, we're keeping going, but it seems frustrating. Ibrox is getting that anxious wide, which I totally understand. Even brilliant Rangers teams can lose a goal. That can happen, right? But when Yilmaz came off and Tav came on, you're like, again, seeing you've got a guy coming off the bench, it's been there, done it, like good player. So you're not taking Red Van Aff and bringing on a young boy that's not really played or a worse option. See, when everybody's fit, we actually might have a good squad, because you've seen with the subs, we were getting better. And you're like, see, when you use the squad properly, I think Red Van's fit he's slotted in all right, but I'm not a big fan of playing a left-footed guy right back. Tav's came back into form. I think it's helped when the better players like Raskin and Hadjian have ended up back in the team. But if Sterling's injured, Casemiro injured, Divine's well at the picture, I don't think we can alternate Tav with Redvan, but I think we need to get another right back thinking long term, so Tav can alternate with somebody so you get the best out of Tav without running them into the ground.
That's been the question for seasons. We need someone be breathing down Tav's neck, because we have just been relying on him. And he's been a great servant for the club, like, let's not kid ourselves. And at the start of the season there, he was getting absolutely hammered. Remember the boy after the Celtic game, chasing him on the bus?
Well, that was shocking.
That was
horrific viewing.
Oh, it was. But no,
Tav was singled out for that. Because the goalkeeper got away with murder. I've said
I said that weeks ago.
That game against Celtic, Butland was to blame for the 2 goals in the first half, but you would never get Butland out here now. The way things have changed now, I think some people would maybe no chase about that, but would call Butland on it after the way he was playing against Celtic. But Tav comes on, and then I said, like, it raises it again, raises the players round about you, keeps it going. The fact that Tav now you're seeing he's in that kind of, I wouldn't say he's at the farewell point, but he's at a point where he's no 25, 26. So he's going to people enjoying his playing as much as they can. And sometimes that actually drives you on a wee bit. You see that with some players. Like Tav might be in his 30s, but he still thinks he's a young guy. He's got that kind of, like Ryan Giggs, where like, no, I'm going to try and keep as fit as possible. So you're always going to get a good attitude. That's one thing. You're always going to get him trying. So some chances go, some don't. Is this going to happen? When Ibrox starts to empty, people are getting frustrated, and it was quite annoying. I don't know why, because the crowd, I don't know if you've seen it. Were you at the game, Mick, or were you watching the telly?
Watching the telly, mate.
Did you notice? I thought a lot of people were leaving, considering the game was still kind of in the balance room about the 80th minute.
There was a lot of empty seats, like pockets of empty seats, and the Blue Order boys had stewards both sides of them.
Where I was, so we're in the Govan, we're my brother and his pal are a few along, but see the last 20 minutes of every game he's end up all sitting next to each other because the time that everybody's away. You know what I mean? So I can't believe this is well in a balance. So we get a corner and it's a good ball in, nearly scored for it. Get another one. Tav takes it from the left, ends up going all the way out, and Ciala catches it. and keeps it in play, puts a good ball in, and a great finish for Balogun. And then at that point in the 82nd minute, you think, good, we can breathe now, because we could actually enjoy a few more minutes, because I thought Rangers totally justified the win last night, and it was good to get the second goal at that point. You could actually sit in comfort.
That's where we've been struggling all season, killing teams, killing them off. And if that stayed 1-0, it got more and more nervy. But again, the big man's come up with a back post. And I know you like a stat. That was his first goal in Scottish football. He scored 2 before, but they were in the Europa League.
I scored against Arsenal as well in a friendly. It's a pure weird one for us.
There you go. See, you like a stat, but no, that's his first Scottish goal in Scottish football.
Brøndby and Red Star Belgrade in the Seville season.
There you go.
2 goals. He scored against Arsenal pre-season, the game that we were booing Kieran Tierney. I remember that. He scored a belter of header. That's incredible. And I did say he does miss sitters. He gets the chances, but it's good that he got that one. Aye. So, do you know what I quite liked about it as well, Mick? Sorry. See, in the 92nd minute, we got a corner. We didn't do that stupid keeping it in the corner. We actually put the ball in the box. And I think that's what you're better doing at that point, because Aberdeen had a couple of guys up the park. So when the big NCR, I might just call him AC Milan guy, I'm not sure his name, the big AC Milan guy goes out, there's no as much pressure on him, because we have put bodies up the park, and then that's how we end up getting that goal. So we start, and Rangers still quite got a bit of intensity today. We're not going to sit on the 2-0, and ball ends up the park, big Dessers. Now, I don't sleep the others day. I don't think this is good enough to be first choice, but I'll tell you what, he's a squad player. He's done this a few times, going as a sub and clinched a game, or let go to the one that kills the game off. What a first touch. Takes a cracking wee touch, dummies a guy, steps in, slots it away. Brilliant. Well on Dessers, because he's made it clear he's probably been told, he's not been told to find another club. He's been told, if an offer comes in, you're a guy would be moving on. What an attitude with a big man. I cannot fault him.
Dessers just, I said this at the end of last year, he's just an enigma for me. I mean, that goal he scored against Aberdeen was a great one. But the one he scored against, was it Betis last season?
World class. Well,
it was. If that was a Messi or a Ronaldo, I'm not comparing them for 1 minute, but I'm just saying, if they'd finished like that, we'd be talking about it for years. And the one against Olympiacos,
brilliant finish
over there. Brilliant finish. But then he's one-on-one.
Kiev as well. Away from home, 91 in your post.
Yeah. And then he's at Parkhead and he's through one-on-one and he doesn't know what he's doing. And the boy Johnson comes and takes the ball off him. And then he plays Nice and he's 6 yards out and he puts it wide. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason to him. He tries his hardest, I'll give him that. He's got the effort. It's not like some of them that come and don't try it. He tries and tries and tries, but it's just, if I had any hair, I'd have pulled it out by now. Well, it's just, and the finish yesterday, put it this way, put an extra few ginger bottles on his transfer fee anyway.
I've said about Dessers, right? He's never been good enough to be the first choice Rangers striker, but he's had to be, right? Dessers to me would be the third choice. I know the last third choices before him were Cedric, Eaton and Fashion Sakala, right? They would do your turn as a sub and he'd come in and out and do your turn, right? They would never have been the number 9 that got you through the game. Dessers is a level with A players for me, but he's had to carry the can, because Eaton was behind Morelos and Roof, Defoe even at one point as well, so he wasn't getting in. Sakala was behind Morelos, Roof and Cholak, and Sakala would get put out wide. So they were, see if Sakala was the Rangers number 9 or Eaton was the Rangers number 9, we need to get somebody better in. Dessers was the same. He was never good enough to be first choice. He was probably our third choice striker, but he's had to carry the can. And sometimes he's done as a turn. He's no scored as many as he should have, but he's no the level to be. And he's done, I think, as a guy said in the Govan stand, I think he's got an annoyingly good goal scoring record for somebody we call a dud, and he actually has, like 22 last year, 14 this year, and all right. I think what we paid for him, I think it was kind of exaggerating the press. It wasn't like 5 or 6 million. I think it was around about 2.8, 3.5. Well, I'll tell you what, Celtic have paid 3 times that for a guy who's no scored in 12 games. So this is what players cost you these days, you know what I mean? not Big Dessers. I think he's going to go this window, and I think he'll go to be a good player for somebody. He's no our main striker, but he'll go and be a main striker for somebody, and he's had a decent career, and he'll turn out to have a decent career.
Well, he's been a bit of a journeyman before he came to us. If you have a look on Wikipedia, and he's been a bit of a journeyman, but I think he gets it in the neck because of the chances he misses, not the goals he scores. I mean, his goal scoring record speaks for itself, but if you add up the chances he misses and the little mistakes now and again, he could have been 30 plus goals last season, easy.
As the big man said himself, if he scored day Wednesday when he was playing for Rangers, and there's no a truer one now, like, I remember people taking that ring away. He's absolutely bang on, because if he didn't miss any chances at Feyenoord or a team in Italy, he wouldn't have been coming to Scotland. So there is truth to that. But Mick, I will wish Big Cyril, no matter what, I'll never have it against him, because he's always put it in, put the effort in. I know he's missed chances, he's cost us some points and whatever, but you can never question his availability as well, because a lesser guy than him would have went half enough and just thrown in the till and just feigned injury till a transfer window.
No, you're right. And his efforts, you can't fault his effort. He tries and tries, but again, it's just his finishing. That's what he gets really hard time for. But again, he's someone that gets it. And I wish him luck if he does go. But when you've got Danilo and Egerman banging him in now.
Oh, Egerman's a level above Dessers. There's no... David T makes a good point. He offers little in the build-up. That's no through lack of trying. That's just a lack of ability. He just makes the ring move. Where I used to sympathise with Dessers. Do you know why I used to sympathise with Dessers? It's quite a weird one. See, last year when Cantwell was in the team, Cantwell was good for Dessers when he played half him. See, in the second half of the season, he could actually move well together. See, when Lawrence was there, sorry, my dogs have seen somebody they don't like. Maybe it's Cantwell I don't like. I don't know.
I can't well.
But see, when he played with Lawrence's movement's awful, and he's not got a lot of effort in him. And see that one when Dessers had the one against Kiev where he fell out with the fans, remember, he kind of threw the arms in the air. He went deeper than Lawrence to look for a ball, which was the number 10's ball, and Cyril's went back 70, 80 yards for the Kiev goal to get the ball when Lawrence was standing there. And I remember that at the time, thinking, that's where that comes from. That was more... He's not going to have a go at Lawrence in the park. It was as if he took the frustration at the fans, which wasn't the right thing to do. But I think he'd been better off having a go at Lawrence and having a right point in his face, because it was lack of effort. As much as Dessers' no ability, it was his lack of effort. But anyway, moving on for that, I think we can agree that we both wish Dessers all the best.
Definitely.
Moving on for that, we have you could not have handpicked a better game this weekend. Probably Dessers will get a couple of goals in it, because I'd play him in this game. Couldn't have handpicked a better game, and a Sunday as well with an extra day's rest to play Fraserburgh. And considering we've got a European game, which is a very weird one for the first round of the Scottish Cup, our first season, it's a chance for some to get a game, Mick. But seeing Madeira, it ends up a pure rotten game with guys that aren't good enough, i.e. Dow and Matondo playing, and you end up having to throw in your better players to get you out of hole. So I would actually go with a strongish lineup in this game, because I think what we've got in reserve isn't that good.
I wouldn't make wholesale changes, but I definitely maybe bring that boy Rice in, because everyone seems to be ranting and raving about him. Give him a shot. I think Dessers will start. I think they'll rest Egermani coming up. One or two of the big ones will get a rest, but he'll not change the whole team. We can't afford to at the end of the day.
I think it would be a good 90 minutes for Balogun and Tav. I think that would make sense coming back from injury. I would keep playing the AC Milan boy. I'm just going to call him that because he's got a good bit of momentum. I'd probably play Yilmaz at left back actually and keep Jeffy for the Man United game. And into midfield, Hadji can't play against Man U, so he could just play Hadji. You could probably bring Barron back in and say, let us a game with Rice, and Barron, you need to be the senior guy for Rice here, maybe give him a bit of responsibility. Yeah. I'd play Barron, but Barron's not been playing very good.
No, I think it's more Raskin's forms making him look a bit batting average. Barron, but before Raskin came back, he was actually looking good in the midfield, but Raskin's just head and shoulders on him. And the two of them do seem to step on each other's toes in the centre mid.
Do you know who they weren't, well, same one as good, they're still younger. I remember, see before before Claudio Reyna went down south, him and Barry Ferguson were the same central midfielder, and see when Reyna and Ferguson played together, they were both good, but they were both same player. So you were always solid, but you weren't getting the goals for the centre mid. Then it was as if he made Ferguson go more forward because Reyna could do his job, and then all of a sudden Ferguson brought goals. Maybe does Barry need to go like, look, if Raskin's playing next to me, I need to bring a guy now. Maybe he's got to take the responsibility, if you get what I mean. Like, or is he just still in that mindset where he's happy to be a Rangers player?
I think he's just obviously it's his first season at the club, so he's probably thinking, I'm a Rangers player. But the boy's got ability. It's just, as I said earlier, Raskin's just the better. He's
levels above him.
Aye, and if he keeps playing the way he's going now, we'll be lucky to keep him next summer, Raskin, because he's dominating that midfield.
I think it gets forgot. Raskin was actually fantastic when he first came in. See his first couple of months, he was fantastic. What happened to Raskin was he got injured, then Beale got the sack, and it all ended up a bit up in the air, and he was didn't really get back in. He never really cemented a place. The team when he got injured again against Hearts around about Christmas time last year, and then he got injured against Ajax in that friendly. So it's been stop and start with Raskin, but there's no doubting how good he's been. What I've noticed as well, see when Raskin plays, Diamandi's a lot better. See when it's Barron and Diamandi can't get, he doesn't get into the job he does it. Raskin allows Diamandi to be a guy who goes for middle to front like a number 8. When he's with Barron, he can't do that.
Diamandi, he's another one. It's just he's hot and cold, isn't it?
I think it's so he plays.
He's not really. He's not had. He'll have maybe 2-3 good games, and then he'll go off the boil. He'll not have a consistent run. He'll just be good one game. Was he playing the next one? And some of his passes are just questionable, shall we say?
He's here to learn at Rangers. That's the thing. Because it's funny how for some games at home you go, like, he'll stroll it and you win in his own park, but then you play Celtic the last 2 games, he's fantastic. The away game in France, he was fantastic as well. So he's got that. Do you know what? It's probably don't know if it's a Scottish football thing, but it's probably games he's more up for than no. And you get players like that. It's no like he doesn't want to try or nothing, but there's more games that will tickle his fancy. Now just like, oh well, that's a big game, and that happens. And I'm always a fan of see guys who are like French, African, that kind of blood. They're always big athletes and big units. So I quite like him. Even if you look like these skinny guys, he's a strong player.
He's got the ability, but it's just consistency with him. He's another Dessers.
I think
you can see.
There's a reason why we won't do it against Fraser Brothers. That's when you would play a Rice and a Barron, for example. But I would just stick with the Raskin and Diamandi partnership, because thinking of the age of the two of them and the fitness of the two of them, and the last 2 games against Celtic, I mean, McGregor and Hattati and whoever haven't controlled the game. That says a lot about the work at Aberdeen. So I'd keep going with that. I usually sit up front. I think I'd maybe play this weird one. See if Matondo's fit, I'd maybe play him against Fraser Brun, get him a couple of goals and in the shop window. As for a business point of view, I think I'd go Matondo, Dessers, and this maybe a game to get Cortez, 45, 50 minutes.
I think maybe Cortez get a start. I think McCausland might be in for a start. Because he's been sort of pushed to the side again.
Aye.
With the front 3 we've got there now, he's out the loop, so that'd be good for him to get minutes under his belt. Because I do like McCausland, because he likes to take on a defender.
McCausland does a lot of work off the ball. See, for the fullbacks and for the attack, he actually gets in about it and does a lot of work. He does a lot of underappreciated work, that kind of Candace kind of thing, where he does like a shitload of running off the ball, but when he's got the ball, he's not actually like, I wish somebody else had the ball, but he's got that kind of like underrated off the ball. You don't always see that, but actually I think when he plays, you actually see him making the job easier for some other players with the effort he puts in. would be good for him to get 90 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised, but see what effort he puts in. If he's one of the players, he would be involved against Man United as a sub probably. So he'd be involved in that before Cortez and Matondo probably. I'm not going to say a prediction. I'm quite respectful with stuff like this, but I think 3-0 with 3-0 and a couple of Dessers goals, maybe a Tav free kick or a penalty for him coming back now. We've seen that before. I'll go 3-0, Dessers 2 and Tav 1, or Tav 2 and Dessers 1, something like that.
I'm going to go 5-0, and I'm going to go a Dessers hat trick.
Oh, brilliant! And that's the thing. He's that is Big Cyril. And it'll add to his annoying good goal scoring record, which you can ram down people's throats. I don't want to look
You can't.
No, I don't think we need to look too into the Man U game. We'll do that over the weekend. We'll do that on Monday night, whatever.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, Mick. I see when the draw was made. I know managers say they don't look forward, but see when we drew Fraserburgh at home, Clement must have thought, thank God. Imagine we were going to Tannadice or Tynecastle in the cup this weekend before Man U. That would have been all right. Now when you need to play your full team, now you can relax Cherny, Igaman and whatever. It makes it, no disrespect to Fraserburgh, but we've knocked one off. I don't expect it. See, you get people going up 8-0, 9-0, blah, blah. Fraser will be organised. We're going to make a mess of ourselves. I think it was at Celtic played Bucky Thistle last year and it was like 4 or 5. It was quite respectable and you defended well. It'll be something along the lines.
Just, you go out, you get the job done and move on to the next round. We'll win and people can forget 9, 10-0. It'll just be like you say, 3, 4, 5, something like that. It's just getting the job done and getting on to the next round. And then the bigger games are to come next week. Obviously, the Old Trafford one. And I'll put the cat up amongst the pigeons here. I think the Tannadice game's bigger than the Old Trafford game.
I was going to come on to that with this is an amazing thing about Clement. He could win a Battle of Britain and then lose at Dundee and be wanting sacked after winning a battle. That's the kind of, exactly. And I would not put it past us. I would say Dundee United's bigger, but when we're going down to Manchester night before, we're not going to be thinking of Dundee. That's the way it goes. That's going to be all about
no,
that.
Of course not.
It would be
but I think for Clement,
I would love to beat Man U at Old Trafford, and we'll never get a better opportunity. Because when next time we play Man U at Old Trafford, they're not going to be 15th in the league and losing to Southampton. We'll never get a better opportunity to win at Old Trafford.
Oh, listen, it's a great time to go down to Old Trafford, but let's not kid ourselves. It was like Southampton coming up here. Oh, sorry, not Southampton. Tottenham coming up here, and everyone thought they were inconsistent and they were going to give us a doing, and then we turned it back on them. We should have won the game, but probably a draw with the last 20 minutes was probably a fair result against Tottenham. But Man United at Old Trafford, let's not take nothing for granted here. They are the favourites in that game.
Why?
With the resources they've got and the money behind them. And they've still got world-class players.
Of course they have. Of course they have. I mean, see the Tottenham game. See from a Rangers point of view in the blue-tinted glass, you go, we should have won that and that. See the last half hour, we were blowing it with arse and they were moving the ball but well because they're a Premiership team and he might not be a friend of yours, Postecoglou, but we can say his teams do move a ball but well now. His teams play an entertaining way of football. It would stress me right out because to me, Postecoglou is a world-class version of Warburton where it's my way or no way. And when it goes for the eye, it's great to watch, but when it's no, you're getting absolutely hammered. Me and my pal always see that Foster was in goals for them. I hated playing against him. He makes saves that look normal, but they're actually ridiculous. See Fraser Foster, for example, he's a second choice goalkeeper. That's a level at Tottenham. Now, that's one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And he's not even a first choice goalkeeper. So that's a level English teams, you know. So to get a draw against that shows you we've done well. And Man U, they still have world-class players. I know that we can slag him, whatever, quite rightly so. See, on his day, Rashford's a brilliant player. I know he's struggling, but Rashford, on his day, could absolutely hammer you.
Rashford's, I mean, he's got his issues. He's working his ticket to get out of United. Maybe not this window. I think they were talking a loan deal to AC Milan for him.
Is that right?
And the boy, AC Milan. And they've got that Fernandes. He's world class, I think. Bruno Fernandes.
But if he doesn't fancy it. Fernandez, he's one of the guys in it when he's not up for it. He might as well win a park, but he can do something. He's mind like that. He's like that Portugal player, Rui Costa. Sometimes when he knows he's on the park, mind the guy that played for AC Milan in Portugal for years. You when he knows he's on the park, but then he can turn around and smash one in for kind of anywhere 30 yards for goal. At Fernandez, that's the thing. They have got these players that can hurt you. Zuxi, is that a big guy's name as well? He's a decent player as well. Am I saying that right? I don't know if I'm saying right. He's a good big player as well.
I'll let you do the mispronunciations, right?
Incredible. I'll just say the big, massive unit. That's what I'll call him. He's a big unit. No, they've got good players. Of course they have. I mean, we could go down there. I think this is our best ever chance that ends up not going that way. That's next week's problem. Anyways, you say that's incredible that Dundee United claimant is probably bigger. Cup this weekend, Celtic have got Kilmarnock, so it's one of the ones where get Fraserburgh. It's weird how of what goes to the last 16, it's always like a 12 SPL club, and the ones there's no. It kind of looks like that draws a few SPL, but I'd be quite happy this weekend, beat Fraserburgh and then get another easy game at home. I don't want to be playing any. We've got too many games to have a Tynecastle or a Pittodrie or a Tannadice in the Cup run about anything else. Actually, I'm not being one of these, I'd take Celtic in the Cup, but if it was at home, it wouldn't actually bother me because we seem to be all right at home anyway. But a nice wee comfortable Sunday.
I just think a home game in the Cup in the next round, that's what you're ideally wanting.
Generally is. I would rather it was Clyde than Celtic, but if it goes at home when they bother me, if it was Parkhead, I'd be curtains. Now, I'm being honest, that's the kind of way to draw.
Well, that's the way the team's playing. And again, from a Clement point of view, I think the Old Trafford game, just to backtrack a bit there, the Old Trafford game for Clement, okay, we want a good result, we want a good performance, but it's sort of a bonus. And we could go down there and potentially get a draw and go up and get pumped off at Dundee United. And the Barbarians are at the gate again, you know what I mean?
I don't think we'd get pumped after United. I think we'd do something silly.
No, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. We'd do something silly. I will tell you what, if I got offered to win at Dundee United but don't win at Old Trafford, actually, I would take that. Now, I would take that if I was offered that, because see if we pick away form up. I don't want to sound like a crackpot here and I've lost the plot, but Celtic's starting to drop points and it's quite annoying. Like the game the other night, Celtic and Dundee, they weren't up too much, you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying win the league, but just close the gap, get it done, put a bit of pressure. That's momentum going into next season. See if you were to get it done to like 5 or 6 points coming into the season. That would actually be a decent turnaround for the new, and then you start next season in fire. So the league is important. It might be gone, but you still need to win the games and get as much momentum going. And for next season, where hopefully we'll be adding, we're not doing it this window, but hopefully in the summer, you've got a lot of the big wages out and you get some new ones in. And that would be, imagine Agamani and Yefty, Diamandi, Raskin a season under a belt being first team Rangers players. They'll be bang on ready to go.
Aye, absolutely. And it's like, I think you say it mostly on the chat. There's no quick fix here. Can he keep going down the same? We've got to break this cycle we've got going now. And we need to close the gap on him. And it's maybe going to be like Gerrard. It's going to take three years. Hopefully not, but it's going to have to be a progressive stage, because the days of us going out and spending silly money are long, long gone. They're memories.
The problem there is, and this isn't what I blame. I cannot blame my claim on this. Was Ross Wilson's transfer window where he bought in Ben Davies, Matondo, and Yilmaz. See, as much as we're saying, well, we can't spend the money spent names of guys that should be into our first team established senior leaders. Now that's the money that was spent in them. You expect the guys to get in and be key players. As we said, Matondo was supposed to be the long-term Kent replacement. Yilmaz was meant to be the Borna long-term replacement, and Ben Davies was meant to be the long-term Goldson or Hollander replacement. Even a struggling Goldson, Borna and Kent are a million miles ahead of the 3 players we brought in that summer for mad money.
Absolutely, and I think that's a lot to do with Ross Wilson. Let's not forget, I mean, I'm going back again here, but Gio Dutch internationalist. He's well thought of in Holland. How many Dutch players did he sign when he was the Rangers manager? Or from the Dutch leagues?
And that
None.
tells you he's not buying his own players. You know what I mean? That's
Exactly.
it. And I would even give Clement that as well, because he's not bought everybody for Belgium. I bet you, Phil, I could guarantee Clement knows Belgian players that could do us a turn. It would be good or better than some of the options we've got. So that's when you know it's not backing your manager. You'll know the manager's not got the final say now. I know he will have a say, but he's not bringing in what he ideally wants. That goes back to Gio. I think Beale, the next window with Beale, he's signed Dessers, Lammers, Danilo, whatever, right? So I don't think they're terrible players, but he spent more than what they were worth. And so I was expecting Lammers and Dessers to be brilliant, and we've already spoken, but we were expecting to be brilliant first team players. Lammers was like would be a squad luxury player. Lammers could do a turn, but he wouldn't be playing every week. But the money spent on him was money that somebody should now let actually be spent on a player that's going to be walking into the Rangers team. And I don't blame Lammers for that. That's Michael Beale, and Clements had to deal with that mess.
I know he's clearing a lot of shite out the way. Beale signings especially. You forgot Cantwell and Raskin. Beale actually brought them in.
I'd be fair.
January.
I would actually be fair. See, when they signed they two and they were in the team, I thought, bloody hell, Beale actually thought when they came in, I thought, this guy knows, because he got them in decent prices, you know what I mean? For they weren't expensive, and they came in and they were first team players. I know it can't well ended, didn't end the way we wanted it to. But when he signed him, very low budget, I was like, this might be his market. But no, when he went out and had the summer to himself, he made a right mess of it.
I think a lot of that was Cantwell's attitude. I think he didn't help himself, Cantwell. I don't think it was a football. Issue. I think it was more how he presents himself.
Well, when we were at Hampden at the start of the season, we were in bar 72 for the Hampden equivalent, and it was Ian Ferguson, not a good Ian Ferguson, the old Ian Ferguson, right? And he was walking about and he's telling us how he's talking away, blah, blah, and he says, oh, Cantwell, I mean, it looks like he's out the door, his behaviour, and this and that. And I was like, how is up with his behaviour? Oh, he just this and that. And I went, have he asked you to walk around and tell us he's been a bad boy? What's going on? Right? And it was so cheap, and he was like, this and that, blah, blah. And I went, he's up at Cameron House Gym a lot, and he's like, I mean, what's he doing up there? And I'm like, well, I don't really know what you're going on about here, right? And it was if he says, but he's for him, and it was this and that. And I went, he scored a few goals. It was if he was raging that I was answering him back, right? He picked the wrong guy to go on it with. And then he says, well, it's just, I mean, why is he not using Murray Park? I know Murray Park. Why is he not using the Mulgai training centre gym? And I went, because he was staying in Cameron at the time. That's why he was using that gym. So he answered him with that one. He was raging. He was like, I'm going to leave it. I'm just leaving him alone. And I'm like, have Rangers really got somebody to walk about and badmouth one of the current players to put you off him? That's what it felt like. So I don't think Rangers covered themselves in glory in the whole Cantwell thing either.
Maybe not so, but I do think Cantwell, I think it was more off the field than on the field, because I didn't really have an issue with him on the field. I think he had a wee bit of a spark about him. He got guys off their feet when he had the ball. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was him and the manager came to blows, they didn't like each other or whatever. But again, he's another one. Good luck to the boy.
Aye. It was frustrating, but when you're watching Tom Lawrence up front, and I know after striking, that was a frustrating thing for me. Aye. As much as Cantwell might not have been behaving great or whatever, when a manager not getting on, he was a better player to have on than him. David T says, what is that, Jack drinking Aberdeen blood? Aye, might as well be David T, aye, if that's what you want to call it. That's what we'll call it, aye. Aye. So we're talking about the things that Clements had to deal with. Now, Clements made mistakes in that, but there has been these windies which have been mental. But we're in a window now, and Mick, I've not seen it, and I would want to put my name to, apart from silly rumours about this and that. Have you heard of any incomings for Rangers to get myself or the listeners excited?
Someone mentioned that there was a vague rumour Cattage was potentially coming back. Nico, I would take that. short-term deal.
I don't
Because
think
obviously we're crying out for a centre back.
is it he plays for a team in Switzerland who are going all right. I don't think you get him in a short-term deal. I think if you want to buy him, you need to buy him, and I'm not convinced he's better than we go. If he was to be available on loan, I'd probably take that. But I think you'd imagine paying money for a guy you told 2 years ago wasn't he good enough. That's the most Rangers thing. That would be the most Rangers thing ever.
That's Chelsea. That's what Chelsea do.
Aye, exactly. Exactly. That would be, you can't even say, well, finances aren't great, and then you've out and bought a guy for 4 million, you deem no good enough, and let go for buttons a few years before. But knowing Rangers, I have seen silly things like that. I like Katic, but I always thought Katic was a weird defender. He was like a winger. You knew he was going to have a stinker or a good game in the first minute, and see when that's your centre half, that doesn't fill you with confidence. He could win you a game or lose you a game. It was a bit of an enigma. If he's improved in that, he'd be a brilliant signing. But I think if he'd improved in that, Mick, he'd probably be playing at a better level than we are at the moment, because he did have good ability.
Yeah, definitely. I seen him against England down at Wembley.
That's right.
Because he's swapped allegiances. He's going to, is it Bosnia now? From Croatia. So he's playing for them, and he looked solid enough. He gave Harry Kane a game.
Mm-hmm. Was that the warm-up game for the Euros, wasn't it?
Yep. He was playing for them.
It was in Newcastle's game. Newcastle's ground. I remember what he was good in that game.
He was at St James's.
See, when I heard the name, I didn't realise it's the same one, because I thought it was a Croatian international. I thought he played for Croatia under 21. He was at us, but also he switched and went to Bosnia. Not good on it. You know what? I'd even say whatever happens with Katic, I don't see that happening, but I think we could agree we wish him all the best. He was always a big trier.
Oh, absolutely. He was one of Gerrard's boys. He gave it all. Again, he wasn't immune to the odd mistake, especially when he was trying to play the ball out from the back at times.
He forgot he wasn't Van Dijk sometimes, didn't he? He liked to think.
That's it.
That was it, St Johnson. Somebody went like, somebody got to go and tell him he's no Van Dijk. I remember that, because he was getting through. He would actually try and play like, he would try and also do this thing where, see when it would need headered out the park, sometimes he'd try and chest it and header into midfield as if he was Van, and he certainly wasn't, and he would just end up no doing anything. Anyway, Mick, it's the first time we've done a pod ourselves. I've really enjoyed having you on.
No, likewise, James.
It's been good. We always have a good, I mean, we don't always need to agree offline, but that's the way of it. That's what it's about. This is what this is all about. I think we can both agree, but it's Sunday and last night. Looking forward, it's not looking, I'm not getting too ahead of myself, but it's not looking too bad.
Absolutely, after last night especially. Fraserburgh just got to get the job done, and then obviously building into another big week, especially with all the away games coming up, and that's a different pod in itself. Again, that's what really needs to change going forwards, the away stuff.
As we said earlier on, it's not like we get pumped. It's like we're a bit naive in them. I wonder if this is where the old... We'll just touch this quickly. We don't sign enough players for our own league. Sometimes you need to sign them and they're actually going to be good. Sometimes with the foreign guys, some of the away games, I'll give them Hibs as a pass, because the defensive injuries against Hibs towards the last 10 minutes was mental. Like, you've seen that coming. Hibs were always going to equalise. We were down to the bare bones. But see the Dundee game, it's like you're away from home, but you're at home with the amount of fans you've got, but you're in a rotten stadium. The pitch is terrible. And I don't think there's many other leagues in the world where of the away team, you shouldn't have the fans in your back, but they actually have the fans in your back, probably worse at away games. And I think somebody new coming in this country, I know that we need to learn and to adapt. It must be, I don't want to say daunting, but it must be weird now. Like when a lot of your away games, you've got more fans, and you're expected to win them. Or I don't mean that to sound like a loser mentality. It's just like, I think a lot of the foreigners, they must think, what is this? An away game, you might have a couple hundred guys in the corner. No, half the place gone mental.
Well, look at Tierney. Tierney at the start of the season, he wasn't liking getting booed, and the fans were getting on top of him. He was reacting a couple of times, and I think Dessers done it at Hampden Park as well. He reacted, but I think they suddenly realise what they've got themselves into. I mean, Dale Mondy's face when he was going to the fans after Dundee. You could see him. He's like, "Oh, here we go again." Like he didn't want to go up and salute the fans. He was like, "I can't even bother this." And I think it was the gaffer even pointed to him, "I'm going to get it. You're getting." You know what
I mean? I actually think, see, to be honest, I know the players get it sometimes about not getting that. A lot of the time we will come up and this all came 4 years ago. I think we was at Johnson. I think we get beat or lost or something. And Tav had an altercation with a fan. He went like, and Tav went, "No, from now on, we'll come up and no matter the score, we'll come up at the end and applaud you," kind of thing. I get why the players do it, but sometimes, and I remember being younger. I remember a game that we get humped at Tynecastle. The players were half a park. Now, like, not one came up. You know what I mean? It was a season we went to Manchester. I think we get beat 4-1 or 4-2 at Tynecastle. The players were already half a park. Now there was no, and the fans were at the fans were out. It seems to be, I don't know if it's a social media thing, but it seems to be this new thing we try to look as staunch and ultra or whatever, or at the end, like them standing there getting a row off of fans. I actually find it quite uncomfortable when you're in the grunt, to be honest. It's still for me. Maybe it's a younger generation thing where they want to ignore. I think when you get beat, I just want to the grunt. I don't want to be in there any longer than I need to be, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, absolutely. And Barry Ferguson, he was the master at it, especially if we got beat off Celtic. He just did a couple of handshakes and then straight down the tunnel. He wouldn't be going up and applauding. But I remember him doing that a couple of times at Parkhead.
I remember, but him also getting criticised for no coming. I remember you would get that as well. So you're not going to keep everybody happy. You would always get that side of it. That's the problem, isn't it? Like we're a big. There's a lot of us, you know. You're not going to please everybody. There's a group chat we're in. There's only a handful of us, and we don't always agree. So 3,000 behind the goals, not going to agree after a defeat. Anyway, that's us done the hour, Mick.
Okay, mate.
Good seeing you again, and
you too.
All the listeners, thanks very much for tuning in. It's been quite a positive show. The bipolar nature of supporting Rangers. 1 week you think this, next week it could be totally different. But until the next time, Mick, good seeing you, and same to everybody else. Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a good night.
Right, good night, everyone.